All of the transfer talk surrounding Manchester United is about who they're going to bring in, who they're going to sign, and how much money they're going to throw into a player's contract. But before they do that, what about the players that are going to leave? Well, today I'm going to be discussing 5 players that should leave Manchester United in the transfer window. First up, and you guys knew that this was coming in this video, it's Phil Jones. Don't get me wrong, when they first signed him, he had a great little spell at Blackburn and he really looked like a promising player for the future. In fact, Alex Ferguson at the time said that Phil Jones could go on to be one of Manchester United's greatest ever players. That is probably not a sentence that Ferguson looks back on so fondly. Anyway, given Phil Jones' recent record, it's clear to see why he should be leaving the club. Yes, at 28 years old, he's still got a good chunk of his career left, and he could still make it a pretty good Premier League side. He's just not good enough for Manchester United at the moment. They've got Bailly, Lindelof, Maguire, and they've even got a few youngsters coming through. Plus, there's talk of them signing a brand new centre-back on an odd occasion this season. Even when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has rotated the squad, Phil Jones still hasn't made the first team. He's really not good enough, has failed to stay injury-free, so maybe he should be moving on. Of course, when Jones does move on, United can't exactly expect to get a massive amount of money from him, but it's for that reason they'll probably have quite a few options because he won't exactly be expensive to a potential new side. So next up, and this is probably one you're definitely going to disagree with, David De Gea. Now, before you all go blasting your guns at me, just think about it for a second. De Gea is a quality keeper. There's no doubt in my mind he's one of the best in the Premier League. He is definitely a top goalie, and over the last decade or so has been a brilliant servant to Manchester United. But there have been signs that maybe, just maybe, he's not quite of the level that they want to be at if they're going to be challenging for the Premier League title, getting back into and challenging, hopefully in the next few years for Man United fans, for the Champions League. I mean, this season alone, De Gea has had 3 errors which have led to goals. That's more than any other goalkeeper in the Premier League. He's not keeping as many clean sheets as his main rivals, and in all honesty, I'm not so sure whether or not Dean Henderson would be a better option. Now, the Sheffield United keeper is on loan from Manchester United and has said that he would return to his parent club only if he was to be number 1. Of course, United have a big decision to make, but put it this way, De Gea is almost 30 years old. That's not old for a goalkeeper, we get that. But if a big team does want to come in and sign him, they could probably realistically charge about 50 to 60, maybe even 70 million for him with his current reputation at the moment. If they do that, they've got a ready-made replacement in Henderson, who's I think 24 years old, ready for the Premier League, as we've seen with Sheffield United. He's almost at the top of the clean sheet ladder this season. And, well, they're going to have him for, who knows, maybe another 10 years. Surely, when it comes to replacing one goalkeeper with another, there's no perfect time, but this is as good as it gets for Manchester United. And if you disagree with De Gea, you'll probably definitely disagree with the next one. It's Jesse Lingard. Of course he should leave the club. Put all of those terrible Lingard's the greatest, all this crap, he's a player with young potential to the side, because he's 27, he barely ever provides an assist or a goal in the Premier League, and the way that United are moving with big signings and quality players up front, there is just no room for Lingard. I don't even know his best position. If it's out on the left, there's no way he's overtaking Rashford. If it's out on the right, he's probably not better than Dan James. He's definitely not better than Dan James. Plus, United want to sign likes of Sancho or another right winger. And if it's in the middle, Lord knows he is not better than Bruno Fernandes. What's Lingard going to do? Be a bit part squad player? Much like with Phil Jones, he really needs to kickstart a career which, let's be honest, did have some early promise. There was an FA Cup final winning goal. There was a really good performance at the 2018 World Cup for England. He's definitely got some potential, but like Jones, maybe it's just not the level that Manchester United are at. These days, everyone might as well just go and join Newcastle, if not for anything but a massive paycheck. So number 4, and it's Alexis Sanchez. This one comes as utterly no surprise, and it's because of that absurd wage that he's on. Apparently somewhere between 400 to 500k a week, and even a loan out to Inter Milan isn't doing him any good. I think he scored 1 goal in about 10 Serie A games this season. That's just not good enough. I mean, the whole point of the loan is to A, convince the club that have loaned him in this case Inter Milan, that he's good enough to buy permanently so that you get a transfer fee for him and you get his wages off your books, or B, he has such a good season, Inter Milan can't afford him, he comes back and he's a brilliant player for his parent club, this case Manchester United. Neither of them looks to be happening, and even if they've got to send him on a free transfer, surely they've just got to get him out of the club. This has been one of the worst signings in Premier League history within the last, I'd say, at least 10 to 20 years. Unbelievable. Anyway, it looks like there definitely won't be a place him back in the squad, even though Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he may be given another try. I really can't see that happening. The second someone comes in with half a decent offer for him, both for the club and for the player, I'm sure he'll be packing his bags and out the Old Trafford exit door. So before we reach the final one, there were of course a few other players who could leave, but I couldn't really build, I'd say, an interesting argument for why they should leave. Like Nemanja Matic, he's a good player. If he sticks around, United have got a good squad player. If he leaves, he's been a good servant to the club, but he's slowed down a bit in recent years and he's not getting any younger, so he could leave. Chris Smalling potentially. Luke Shaw, if you think that Brandon Williams is going to hold down the left-back spot. Diogo Dalot and Wan-Bissaka are having a fight for a right-back, which Wan-Bissaka looks like he's probably winning, so Dalot can maybe move on. Who knows? There's a few players that can leave, but none more so is going to be more controversial should he leave Manchester United than Paul Pogba. We talk about it so much. Would he stay? Would he go? At this point, I just want him to go. Just always stop talking about it for another year before he has to fall out of his new club and then wants to leave again. Real Madrid are interested, Inter Milan, Juventus, PSG, every big name under the sun is being in with the Frenchman because on his day, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. Do not get it twisted. Incredible talent. Definitely could be a world beater, but just has not shown it and has been injured for so long. The thing is, when a player like Pogba is injured for so long, and someone who hasn't necessarily had many injuries throughout his career, you then start talking that does he actually want to come back? Is he trying hardest to be rehabilitated and come back into the squad and really show he's got what it takes to play for Manchester United? Or is he just staying out of the limelight and poor performances so that United can charge an astronomical fee to a potential buying club? Put it this way, United had Paul Pogba as their top goal scorer last season from midfield, even though quite a few of them were penalties, but regardless, he's still hitting the back of the net. On the back of a brilliant 2018 World Cup with France, where they won it, and a pretty decent 2018-19 season with Manchester United, if they package that nicely, they could sell it to a club and say, this is why he's worth 100 million. If he comes back into the United side now, he's in and out, poor performances, inconsistent, not putting in the work, and he's injured, there's no way a team is going to be like, yeah, that's the kind of guy we're going to spend 100 million euros on. There's no way it's going to happen. Maybe he's been kept out of the limelight, who knows. As I said, on his day, he could be a brilliant midfielder. But are United really going to take that extraordinarily expensive risk? They're better off selling him for that kind of money. And as I said before, bring in Sancho, bring in another midfielder, who knows, even another striker to compete with the likes of Martial as well. There are so many possibilities when you take the Paul Pogba money. I'm even talking myself into it. It definitely seems worth it. So there you have it, 5 potential players who could be leaving Manchester United. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below whether or not Pogba, De Gea or any of these should be leaving and who you'd rather kick out the door in their place. Whilst you're at it, you can smash the like button, click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on Onefootball. And until next time, I will see you guys later.